They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way up, way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got this whole view to myself. Yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation. Now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Water no bed like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I ain't make it this far for myself. I had to prove to everybody else. I had to set them straight. I had to boss. I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate.
Buckroll. Purchase your track today. Purchase your track today. Purchase your track today.
Live, y'all heard my to myself. Family starting cannibalization. What I do not have baggage. I just later on earlier today. Earlier cool. I appreciate it. I don't know. 7 days until with me. Man, y'all, I enjoyed this podcast.
Purchase your track today.
I'm always trying to rock with y'all and do another show and do some live with y'all. That's just what I do.
What if recording high-quality content, editing like a pro, and streaming like a star was as simple as hitting record? With Riverside, it's just that. Riverside makes the entire process easy, from recording to editing
Yeah, I
to
kinda
streaming,
figured
without having to
you
jump
was
from
a
app
guy.
to app.
And
Everything you need is all
I'm trying to move it down. Welcome. Like I said, I did a show earlier on Instagram where I actually did an interview. My first actual interview where I sat down and talked and had to explain myself and things and bring up a past and stuff. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. It was something different. Not going on here and doing what I normally do. Now today I will be going on here talking about the news and how they cover stories. I want to cover that today because I feel like it's more blunt about how a news covers coverage and put their opinions behind a story or news and what it is. And I was watching this show earlier, and it was just so obvious that the media was one-sided. And then not only was the media one-sided, but the mediator, the person that's supposed to be so-called in the middle, was one-sided. I was like, man, I wonder how long stuff like this has been. How long has it just been one side in the media coverage when you're covering the news? So I was like, I was going to start that today. I was going to do it earlier today, but like I said, I went to go podcast with somebody else for a minute. Did about 2 episodes and stuff like that. Like I said, go check out 7 Days. But yet again, I wanted to cover news today. Now, y'all know, for people that's watching me, and I have always said I'm going to start my show out covering news, marijuana news coverage first, and I'm going to keep my word, and that's what I'm going to start. So I think I got a good one for y'all. I haven't seen this, so yet again, I will be
Big ideas
first time and going over it
don't come easy. But when you get
with
one,
you.
Has not seen.
Understand, I have not seen this. I will be going this new coverage with you. And
April 20th, formerly informally known as Weed Day, formerly in some spots of the country. The unofficial holiday derives from a group of California high school students in the 70s. California is one of the many states that has fully legalized marijuana, while other states have given the drug mixed legal status or just kept it fully illegal. Trump has expressed favor for legalization in the past, posting on Truth Social in August he would support Florida's marijuana legislation amendment, a legalization amendment, but the issue has not seen much movement in the administration's first 100 days. Obviously, the president has been busy with other priorities. Here to discuss the policies of weed is founder and CEO of Precious Canna Company, Precious Osage Arise. Did I say it right? All right. So good to see you.
Good to see you.
It's good
too,
to have you
Phil.
again. I think now that it's twice, we can say friend of the show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Let's discuss the politics of this.
Yes.
Because as we were talking about during the break, and as we just mentioned in the introduction to you, it is legal in some states. It is not legal in other states. But federally, there's still this confusion.
Yeah, federally, there's been no movement to truly support the cannabis industry. And on a day like today, 420, where we're going to see massive sales. Just last year alone, this day saw $83.6 million of cannabis
Just in
sales
one day.
in one day. So we've been really waiting for the federal government to give more support to sustain this industry, especially economically, for those business owners that need tax relief, that need banking, that need more options to be able to safely produce cannabis products for the country.
You've lobbied Congress,
Absolutely.
and you want it to be legalized in a federal way, in a safe way. How would federal legalization affect Americans?
I think federal legalization actually leads to decriminalization. Most states that we've seen any level of legalization takes place, we've seen a lot of those crime and actions around
Federal legalization getting decriminalized. That sounds good. Sounds good. But I know and you know that federal regulations does not lead to decriminalizing federal. It don't. I'm sorry. It sounds good, but it don't sound promising. It really sounds antagonizing, and it's finding more reasons for the federal law to put you behind jail. And here's a person that you would think would advocate to get less people out of jail, but I just hear the opposite.
cannabis starts to come down. Actually, just this week, we had in Congress, Representative Dave Joyce introduced the Stakes 2.0 Acts, which really supports states having full autonomy of what their cannabis economy looks like. And we're hoping the administration gets behind this because they've really been bullish on giving states the ability to choose their fate. But now we need the federal government to give them support to make those cannabis industries sustainable in each state.
I would imagine with the lobbying that you do and with the amount of talking you do about this, you interact with folks who say, oh, it's a drug, it shouldn't be legal. What is your counter to that? Because a lot of people don't think it should be.
Absolutely. It's a new industry. Reefer madness, the war on drugs was not too long ago. So there's a lot of stigma behind what people think cannabis is. And that's where a lot of research comes in handy. That's when having HHS and the DEA participate in that research to give people more of an appetite to sustain this sort of, commodity, because it is everywhere. People are consuming in various different ways. Now we just need some safety and regulations there, because this is also about public health. So FDA getting involved to give us some guidance would be super helpful. And I think that will alleviate what we're seeing on the opposition. It's just really not knowing the education around cannabis.
And just finally, your company is New Jersey's first Black woman-owned pre-roll brand.
Yeah.
I get that right. Why is social equity and representation important, and how could wider legalization help further involve marginalized communities?
Oh, it's very important. Like, we have to think about where this industry actually came from. The war on drugs really saw a tear through Black and brown communities being incarcerated. And now we have a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's important.
I knew she was finna go to the Black and brown stuff. But yet again, you want feds to be involved. I don't think that's smart. Just my opinion. We almost done.
For some of those people, not only one, be released from prison, but be able to partake in this industry. And that's where the federal government, because businesses like mine need support. If not, we're enduring leaps amount of debt, huge taxes, yet we have these huge sales on a day like 420. So we really need a little bit of support. I really think it's a safe and grown industry that provides more economy.
Yeah, just for the record, both times you said huge sales on 420, you had a huge smile.
You'll know where to catch me.
Good luck with the rest of the day.
Thank you
Precious,
so
always
much.
a pleasure to have you.
I think I can do it like this. Oh. So let me scoot over just a little bit. To regulate weed federal, to think that feds are gonna decriminalize something that they don't make no money off of. The only way they're gonna make money off of is to lock you up. Now, she would have came up with a solution that said, okay, the feds get involved to just push the agenda. Still don't get taxed. Don't add no taxes. Don't do that like that. I'm cool. I'm with that. But first time that you add a tax or a law or something, I just do not see that it's not staying safe for being decriminalized. I'm just keeping it real. I don't. It sounds very, very good. It sounds very promising. But I just don't get it. Yeah, I gotta take a small break real quick. So I'm trying to find something to leave y'all with to watch. I think I'll leave y'all with this.
An MS-13 gang member adjudicated by two different judges, I believe, is just simply being referred to as a Maryland man over and over again.
Is he not a Maryland man? What? I'll have you believe, sir, he's actually not from Maryland.
He's actually not from Maryland. He's actually not from Maryland.
Yesterday, you may have missed the morning show because I was at the White House. We had requested interviews with several individuals at the White House, and we ended up getting invited to do some of these interviews with several individuals, notably Secretary Kristi Noem, Sebastian Gorka, as well as Secretary Sean Duffy. Very interesting. We're going to be putting those out today, tomorrow, and I believe Monday we have them. And additionally, I was asked that if I was available, would I like to take the new media seat in the White House press pool? And they would give me one or two questions to kick things off, and I could just ask whatever I wanted. I did. Oh boy, is the liberal media losing their minds. They are so angry. And this is the funny thing about this entire narrative, because let me break this down for you. No one told me what to ask. I had a genuine question. What I am irked by with the White House press briefings is that they are dominated by a media that may as well be one company. Whether it be ABC News, CNN, or the New York Times, they all report the exact same things. Now, one might normally say, well, that just means what they're reporting is true, right? I mean, if the sky is blue and everybody says the sky is blue, it's because they're correct. But what about when they lie and falsely frame things? And I'm going to show you exactly how they're falsely framing even this story, proving my point. Well, then it's not that they're telling the truth. It's that they are one homogenous corporate apparatus and not a press. Most of the people in that room, not all, some are actually pretty good. And I don't just mean the new MAGA influencer types they're referring to, like Mary Margaret from Daily Wire or Elad from Timcast. No, I mean, there's actual journalists there who ask real questions. And again, I also don't just mean Ducey from Fox News. He's great, by the way. No, I mean, it's not everybody, but they're institutions. Take, for instance, the Maryland man hoax, which is what I brought up intentionally to point out that there are people in this room that perpetually march in lockstep with false narratives. And so I want to know, I wanted, in the politest way that I could, I want to know why the White House allows them to do this. Are they going to be expanding this seat? And they say it's sucking up and it's a soft ball. Gilmar Abrego Garcia is a man from El Salvador. Okay. We don't say he's from Maryland because he's not. He hasn't even been there, I think, 6 years, maybe. I mean, isn't the dude in his late 30s? So barely a fraction of his life is in Maryland and say he's a Maryland man? No, that is a manipulation. It's called a framing device in media to trick you into making the wrong assumption. And it worked. Hassan Piker, one of the biggest streamers on the left, literally did not know that Abrego Garcia, the El Salvador man, MS-13 gang member, and whose wife claims he mercilessly beat her on numerous occasions, Hassan Piker did not know this guy was from El Salvador. And so what I said was, guys, if I thought that Trump had accidentally kidnapped an American citizen who was not a member of MS-13 in a dragnet sweep, I would be saying the same things as him. I'd say, Trump, you got to bring the guy back. What are you doing? And then Trump said, well, sorry, he's in El Salvador now. We can't get him. I'd be like, what? You sent an American citizen with no charge or trial to El Salvador? Oh, wait, what's the real story? An El Salvador man and gang member who was arrested and adjudicated as removable by his own admission was sent back without a USCIS interview. Oh, darn. We didn't get that USCIS interview to determine the conditions of his home country. That was the administrative error. Yeah, not a good one. But Hassan Piker didn't know this. I've got the clip. He's trying to backtrack now, saying, no, I knew, but he didn't. When I said in the press briefing, there's a Maryland man, Hassan thought I was insinuating he was from the greater Maryland area. I was referring to a suburb or DC, as if he wasn't really from there. My dude, he's from El Salvador. But see, when the media marches and locks up with this lie, a person like Hassan, probably getting his news from headlines and not actually investigating, sees Maryland man and says, whoa, Trump deported an American citizen? And he gets shocked by it. That's why they do it. Worse, let's imagine that Hassan Piker actually thought he was doing his research and he pulls up 5 different outlets that all say this man was from Maryland. He goes, wow, this is some Maryland guy who got caught up in this dragnet. In reality, he's not a Maryland man and never was. And think about it this way. Someone asks me where I'm from. Do you know what I say? Well, I've been in West Virginia for 5 years. Am I going to say I'm from West Virginia? No. I say, oh, I'm from Chicago, but I live in West Virginia. Everybody I know says that. They'll say I'm from this area, but I live here. Because where you are from is a reference to where you were born and grew up. Now, to be fair, there are some circumstances where someone might say, oh, I'm from Chicago. I was born in insert country, but moved there as a child, right? Yeah. Take a look at this from the Daily Beast. MAGA podcaster goes full suck up in first White House press briefing. Tim Pool was paid handsomely to spread pro-Russia talking points. Fake news. That's a lie. All they do is lie. I will address it because I got no problem doing so. I was given a contract to do it.
Tim Pool speaks for us podcasters that are very small in small places that get small dollars. Like me, it takes 20 videos for me to upload for me to even get maybe $200 to $300 from YouTube or Facebook that I do upload. Like, I don't get no money. I do this out the love of my heart. I podcast. I talk about things that I feel are important. I want to get to the part where I can cover the news, you know what I'm saying, genuinely and from my perspective and stuff like that. I want to get to that status, but I do appreciate Tim Pool, who started in his room in the basement during a pandemic and made it into a $1 million company. I am on my way to doing that. That is one of my goals, is to turn this into a legit company.
A show, or I got to clarify this. Had a contract with a Tennessee-based company to license non-exclusively a show I already made on my own that still exists to this day and is the 10th biggest live stream in the country. So when we do a debate on, I don't know, Carmelo Anthony or religion, I believe this Friday, our debate is going to be on sects of Christianity. They are lying because that's what they do. This is why we call it a cult. This is why we call it propaganda and a fake news machine. If you watch this show or you watch the Culture War podcast, you're like, this is barely geopolitical. We're not talking about Ukraine or Russia. We did one debate on Ukraine and Russia. One. I think we did one on Israel.
One thing they did good, I did like that. They did take people from both spectrum, Democrats and Republicans, put them on stage and gave them a platform to talk about things that matter. I did appreciate, like I said, I appreciate Tim Pool and what he has done for us as podcasters to bring a light into, you know what I'm saying, making sure that mainstream media is not taking over. And you got to appreciate that, child. You got to appreciate that. I'll get back into some more marijuana news coverage.
For April 20th or 420. So is the deadly risk of marijuana mixed with unknown substances. 18 News
Let's do it.
Flores wasn't a fan the first time, but the second time, everything changed.
It was the second time I smoked that I really fell in love with it. You know, the euphoria that it gave me, not having my biological father in my life at a young age, it, you know, I had some low self-esteem, self-image issues that I was dealing with, a little bit of depression. So it felt like, you know, I was self-medicating. It just felt like it was everything I was looking for. I was on top of the world.
By the time he was 16, marijuana wasn't enough. He moved on to opioids, and his life changed from there.
My legs are kicking, my stomach's turning, my body temperature, and you know, my life began to spiral out of control very, very quickly.
Flores nearly died from an overdose, but after 3 tries, Flores finally got sober.
Have in your mind of someone that is struggling with active addiction or has substance use disorder, like get that out of your mind, right? Don't think that you're insulated and something like this can't happen.
18 News that
It can happen to you, but get that out of your mind. Keep it out of your mind that that can't happen to you, so you don't think that into existence. We're not trying to think nothing like that into existence. I think that's crazy to think something like that into existence, and that's basically what he is promoting you to do. Don't think it's not gonna happen. Understand things can happen. I get things can happen, but we're not gonna put everything into existence that's gonna happen just because we know it's gonna happen. I think that's what I'm trying to say right there. That's like I said, I get that we understand it's gonna happen. Totally understand. Notice how the Barry Water news coverage is pretty just flat down the middle. I noticed that it's not too much. You never really hear a news coverage person try to pick a side when it comes to Barry Water. Driving laws leave marijuana cannabis use. And I think we was talking about this yesterday.
Not allowed to drive a car on our roads. It's because of her medicine of the ocean, but is not allowed
True.
to drive a car on our roads. It's because of her medicine. It's legal and prescribed, but that hasn't stopped deep sea diver Sandy, who can operate machinery at the bottom of the ocean, but is not allowed to drive a car on our roads. It's because of her medicine. It's legal and prescribed, but that hasn't stopped the courts taking away her license.
Sandy, we're in your car, yet I'm behind the wheel. Why?
Because I'm not allowed to be for the next 6 months.
Sandy's TLC for her car comes after being busted for having THC in her system while driving, the main psychoactive component of cannabis.
He first breathalyzed me, alcohol test, came up 0, and then he did a drug test. And I told him before he even brought it back to the car what it was going to be positive for and why.
Sandy was charged with drug driving late last year. The former commercial deep diver planned to fight the charge, but before Sandy could argue her case in court, she was busted a second time. For the first offence, Sandy was convicted, fined and suspended from driving. She plans to fight the second charge too.
Someone has to stand up and stop being bullied into pleading guilty.
Sandy is one of more than 700,000 Australians using cannabis for medical reasons.
I certainly would not have convicted her.
Former New South Wales magistrate David Halpern turned his back on the profession because our drug driving laws needed a reality checkpoint.
I found myself driving home after court with a really bad taste in my mouth, thinking, I just can't keep doing this. I can't apply a law that is so unfair, that has such a drastic influence, negative influence on people's lives when they lose their licence.
At Lismore Courthouse behind me, there's 46 drug driving cases being heard here today alone. A current affair saw the impact the laws were having on drivers in Halpern's backyard in 2016, when the local magistrate chucked it in.
It's a horse test. The test just shows whether or not it's in your system.
All this saw Professor Halpern change direction. The Dean of Law at Southern Cross University is a vocal advocate for overhauling our drug driving laws.
If you go to the doctor and you get a prescription and you drive, then you are committing an offence in every state of Australia. In Tasmania, there is a defence, which is if you've been prescribed and you're not driving under the influence, so you're not weaving all over the road, and you're only using the cannabis you've been prescribed, then there's a defence available, but nowhere else in Australia.
Please wipe this down your tongue.
New South Wales Police conduct more than 250,000 roadside drug tests each year. That's more than anywhere else in the world.
There's certainly no proof in the pudding that people who are using cannabis medicinally and in accordance with their prescription raise the road toll at all. We're in an evidence-free zone, but we know this. Public policy should not be determined by police desire to do 250,000 drug driving tests. And apart from anything else, it takes police away from policing things that I think every member of the community would be way more concerned about: domestic violence, child sexual abuse.
And at the moment, the legislation says that if you have THC...
What is more important than finding sex offenders or finding people that smoking weed and now they hop behind a car and started driving? What is more important than y'all? Bank robbers, sex offenders, rapists, gun charges, people running up from felonies, not showing up in court, child support. What is more important than dealing with marijuana that nobody has really? There's been a few marijuana accidents, but not many. Not as many as alcohol, nowhere near as many as asthma attacks or any other thing that happens in a car during a normal drive. And this is what I was talking about yesterday when it comes to truck drivers and this DOT. And I understand, I'm not saying smoke and drive, but getting off, want to smoke, want to chill, y'all got to get with me on this. Y'all know this not a bad idea.
See in your system, you are inadequate to handle that motor vehicle safely. And that's what the community policing is about.
Alex Karuna is the president of the Australian Federal Police Association. If you're over 18, you can legally possess certain amounts of cannabis in the ACT, but the capital has a zero tolerance approach to driving high.
I'm not hearing members telling me that they're unhappy with the shift because they had X amount of people that were medicinal cannabis users. They would like to be able to have technology out there that was to be able to tell the difference between medical cannabis or recreational.
Was that a cannabis test?
I'm not hearing members telling me that they're unhappy with the shift because
That says cannabis or meth. Now I gotta go to the big screen because I want y'all to see. I really want y'all to see. This is looking for cannabis usage. This is not alcohol. This is cannabis usage or meth. Other countries that are cracking down on drugs, that are less lingering on drugs. But yet again, this will help us over here when it comes to people. And people like me probably still feel it no matter what. If we smoke and then 30 minutes got in the car, probably still fail that test. I don't know what you think. Put down in the comments.
Medicinal cannabis users, they would like to be able to have technology out there that was to be able to tell the difference between medical cannabis or recreational cannabis. And unfortunately, that technology doesn't exist at the moment.
Medical cannabis users feel they've been driven into a catch-22 cul-de-sac.
Do they keep using the medication that works and risk losing their license?
So dude said, did y'all peep? The dude said there's not a way to tell, but then we just seen a test that's put out there. So that test is probably no good. That test is not valid. Curious.
A greater time off the road, or do they stop using the medication that works and go back to a more harmful, more side effect and more dangerous drug like an opioid?
Sandy's second defence in 5 years means there's no leniency available to the court.
I could stay in bed all day on court day and still end up in the same position as if I rock up in my best clothes and fight my best fight. Like, it's sewn up.
That's not the case with, say, assault. It's not the case with stealing, but it is the case with drug driving, that if you've got 2 offences within 5 years, the second time, then it's throw your licence in the bin on the way out of the court, because you're going to be off the road for a substantial period of time.
Professor Halpern's calling for the Tasmanian legislation, which provides leniency for medical cannabis drivers, to be adopted throughout Australia.
My prediction.
They make them do it. They probably ain't even smelling no weed in the car. They just, hey man, automatically got to take the test. That's. To even think somebody's going to make you just go out here and just take you got to take a test, period. If I pull you over as a cop, you automatically taking a test. And we over here asking presidents to, hey man, can you federal deregulate some stuff around here? It's funny that we ask for people to federally regulate when we want less government involved. You want less regulation from government. But it seems like everywhere I look, people are putting more government involved in stuff. Now, I know there's a bunch of y'all that I don't care about politics. I don't care about stuff like that. But you're going to care. We're not going to keep looking dumb and stupid and ignorant and all this stuff over here. It's getting crazy. I got to cover this. I'm gonna cover that this happened 6 days ago. Cause I want to hear, and I want y'all to hear, y'all. This is the main title. I want y'all to hear how they present this story. These stories that I bring up, I have not watched, so you're gonna get my live reaction. But I'm really focusing on how they deliver the story. If they telling the story like, if they telling from their feelings, or they being down the middle, they're being biased, or they're picking a side. And I'm talking about America. Yes. If you're American and you're talking about American news, okay, I get it. But this one is serious. And sometimes I think, take serious. Yeah, again, I feel like most of these news coverage is told to take a side. I want you to feel like this when you deliver this story. That's not cool. That's not right. That's not what we listen for the news. We heard the news, so we get the news, we get knowledge, we know what's going on. Now you picking a side, you choosing what story, and everybody like, man, it's always been like that. Okay.
Hijacking involving Americans in the Central American country of Belize. Police say an American citizen hijacked a small plane at knife point. Here's ABC's Matt Rivers.
Tonight, the dramatic scene on a runway in Belize. Passengers running away from a small plane as authorities with guns race toward it. On board, an alleged hijacker who was a U.S. citizen shot dead by a passenger with a gun. It all happened aboard a flight from Corozal to San Pedro. 14 passengers aboard, including 2 Americans. Police say the plane was hijacked by U.S. citizen Akinyela Sawa Taylor, wielding a knife shortly after takeoff. Officials say the hijacker demanding to be taken out of the country, insisting the plane land to get more fuel. But as the plane was touching down, officials say a passenger aboard the flight with a licensed gun shoots and kills the suspect.
We're praying for him. He's our hero, I must say.
Lindsay, the U.S. Embassy in Belize say they are aware of the case and working with local police. Lindsay?
Matt, thank you.
Notice how they didn't tell it that much. They really kept that underground, but they wasn't too biased. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? A hijacking happened over here. We had to handle it. This is how they handle it. And hero. But yet again, there's not a lot of coverage. I will be looking for more news from that to bring to y'all. I would try to bring y'all more news and what they feel about this. CNN, Trump. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Let's go. Now they're going to hear it with a commercial.
Now has 150 million views in China and counting, after Trump all but caved to Xi Jinping.
We are.
You see how they're describing? You're going to describe our president. I don't care if you don't like him. I don't care if you hate him. You're going to describe our president as checking out to another country. I will report that and saying that, yes, they put that in the newspaper, but I'm not going to report it like I was a fan of it. That's all. And this is what I'm talking about when I say when they bring out it's like they're putting their feelings into it. Let's keep the feelings aside. Let's just tell the story. Hey, this is what they said. But do you really? It's hard to think. Trump chickening out is a chicken, is a punk, and he was facing 120-something years in penitentiary. You think he's scared of the Chinese?
Saying, I mean, that post with the viral hashtag Trump Chicken Out now has 150 million views in China and counting. After Trump all but caved to Xi Jinping.
All but caved? That's like not really saying he caved, but yo, they say he caved. 1 million people seen it, so we gotta take his word for it. We gotta go for it. We gotta do it. We gotta see what it looks like. We gotta. Oh, Trump caving over there in China.
Jinping.
We are going to have a fair deal with China. It's going to be fair.
Are you talking to them actively now?
Actively. Everything's active.
Mr. President, has there been any direct contact between the U.S. and China for trade at all?
Yeah, of course.
And
every day.
Every day and active. I mean, you know, the implication here, what it sounds like is there's a big deal. It's being worked on. Things are happening. We're moving forward. Well, the problem is that he was undermined in that sentiment and rhetoric by his own Treasury Secretary, who told reporters this morning that, quote, both sides are waiting to speak to the other. Waiting to speak to the other. I mean, that's the whole waiting by the phone thing that's been going on for weeks now. Of course, talking takes 2 seconds in a situation like this if something real starts. It literally takes 2 seconds. In fact, the Chinese finance minister is in Washington, D.C. as I speak, yet we'll show him to you. He is there not meeting with the Trump team right now. But why did Trump put 145% tariffs on China only to back down? Why would that happen? I mean, because according to the Wall Street Journal tonight, Trump is considering major concessions, potentially slashing some tariffs on Chinese imports by more than half. And that's pretty incredible. To cut by more than half when you haven't even started negotiating means you are negotiating against yourself. And that comes as Trump sounds like a completely different person when it comes to Beijing. I mean, just listen to him over the past 24 hours.
We're doing fine with China. I'm not going to say, I'm going to play hardball with China. We're going to be very nice. We're going to be very good to China.
I mean, that rhetoric, good to China, nice to China.
You see how fast they cut the comments of him talking? That's where you don't get the full content. That's where people like you that's watching, I appreciate you watching, people like me, when you hear that, you see like, so what did he fully say? What was the full? And then you have to go on here and fully search. And I am doing this because yet again, and I'm going to explain it on here. I think I'm explaining it a lot this year, just so people can really get it. I'm doing this because y'all gotta think that the marijuana industry are looked at as a bunch of idiots. We don't know this. We don't care. This is not part of us. Sometimes, yes, I do want to get the suit, tie, and the flag and everything, and just to show people like, yes, we are serious, even though we're potheads, and get very professional with my podcast. I guess that's why 7 days be like, get the donations, get the money, so you get your money. If you're getting donations, people donate, you can get that. And I don't ask. I just want to do these stories and cover them so y'all can see them. So y'all be like, oh, okay. Can't nobody say that a pothead is not out here covering the news just like anybody else. A pothead is not covering out these deep stories just like anybody else. Sorry, I missed a lot of stories. Carmelo Anthony story. I'm sorry I missed that story. The subway story. Shoot. The subway, what he did, put the dude in the chokehold. I can't think. The Cratchit movement, the AOC movement. It's a lot of things that I should have been covering up. I apologize. But I just want y'all to see this first. And I promise you, I'm coming back on this tough with these. And I got help. But let me get back to this. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted.
China is radically different than what we have heard from Trump. I mean, radically different. And words matter here. Words have started this whole thing. Listen to what he said since the beginning of the trade war.
Look, for years we've been ripped off and taken advantage of by China. What other presidents allow China to get away with is...
If it's true that, I think what they say in the 70s or 40s, I'm not sure. I really got to do my research. You know what I'm saying? I heard it one time. I really didn't have time to write it down. But basically, China came over to America during Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan and China sat down for the first time that America sat down. That was televised on national television, and that's where we start giving away our manufacturing jobs. So we start giving away our manufacturing jobs to other countries, to where 20, 40 years later down the road, they're the number one manufacturing country in the world. They manufacture 80-some% of things that go out to other countries. Us in America, President Trump is tired of other countries getting paid better than we should be getting paid as a country. Not mad at that. There's a lot of people out there, the rich, the billionaires, the millionaires, and he doing it for his rich ass friend. You're not going to eat because you're poor, you're the middle class. It's not going to happen. That's bullshit. Because that's when you heard that from somebody, you should be insulted. You're insulting my intelligence. Like, I don't know how to go out here and get some money. Like, you have not seen a person that was a middle class person become a millionaire. And they still don't feel rich.
Absolutely criminal. China obviously treats us very badly. China's an abuser.
China is ripping off the United States for $1 trillion a year.
And that almost pales to what was online. I mean, dozens of posts like the ones we'll show you here. China's brutal to American farmers. China treats us the worst. China panicked. I mean, you can read the missives. At this point, though, the side that seems to be panicking is the Trump side here, which, if these tariffs are being slashed like this, that is backing off. And the only reason that you're backing off is it is so odd is that the entire fight was picked by him to begin with, right? I mean, this wouldn't be even a thing if he hadn't started it. And China has so far not had to give up anything yet. So Beijing seems to be sort of in shock and not able to believe it's luck. I mean, some of the things that are being said on Chinese social media, he's like a child who changes his stances instantly. Today's Trump beat yesterday's Trump. What will tomorrow's Trump do? But Trump's retreat is stunning because it does go against everything he has said, pretty much everything.
We've been ripped off for years, and we're not going to be ripped off anymore. No, I'm not going to bend at all. Aluminum or steel or cars, no exceptions, no nothing. We don't necessarily want to make a deal with them.
Would you be open to a pause in tariffs to allow for negotiations?
Well, we're not looking at them. I'm not going to make a deal.
No deal, no bending, no nothing, but then they're cut in half tonight. I mean, if that all wasn't clear enough, what you just heard there was this online, the 4 words, and this really sums it up, sums up why we are where we are. No exemptions, no exceptions. So when you look at what's happening tonight, maybe cutting it in half, that obviously is a complete and utter and total change of policy. It raises the question of whether Trump's words and his promises Griffin tonight put it this way.
The United States was more than just a nation. It's a brand. It's a universal brand, whether it's our culture, our financial strength, our military strength. America rose beyond just being a country. It was like an aspiration for most of the world. And we're eroding that brand right now.
say that we ain't making no boy. If we buy, when are we gonna sell? Somebody else gonna tell. What the hell? We can't let. I don't know. I'm not up here to let other countries run all over us. And if that's what's going on, countries running all over us, I think let's stop that. I don't know what's wrong with that. I don't know what's wrong with that. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be back. Yeah, I have not did this in a long time, so I thought I'd do this. I did this for a nice little minute, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I did enjoy doing this. So I think I'm gonna bring it back. Watching these police cops and chases was funny to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I enjoyed this. So to sit up here and discuss and see and analyze what you think, or is the police wrong, or is the civilian wrong? What did he do wrong? Where did he go wrong? Did he get away? Just your opinions and stuff like that. I'm gonna get back into do me a couple of videos, at least for a good 30 minutes or so.
2024. DC police arrived at the scene of a vehicle that crashed into a McDonald's drive-thru, according to LoForward, and crashed into the building. Witnesses also reported seeing a second driver parked behind the suspect, who was also asleep at the wheel.
Stand by. Yeah. Send me additional units to the McDonald's. Suspect has a firearm in his lap. Hey, for you guys, I have two other vehicles right there. Look at on the vehicle. I have a white Mercedes sedan. No. Hey, get her out of the car. You. Get out. Get out. You're too drunk to.
YouTube, Facebook, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is for education purposes only.
Drive, get out of the car and walk now. I'm not going to repeat myself. Get out of the car and walk now. This is not a game. It's okay. You have to walk. Ma'am, I'm working right now. Get out of the car. If you don't get out, I'm ripping you out of the car.
No, you're not.
I'm going to count down. 3, 2, get out of the car.
You're not.
There's a man in this car with a gun. I need you to get out of the car now. Miss, I do not care what you're doing. Get out of the car. You are drunk. I'm not going to arrest you for DUI.
They've been sitting here for 30 minutes.
Miss.
I live right off the street. I live
home. I need you to get out of this
I got a
car.
5-year-old at home.
I don't
Listen to
care.
me. I'm an SBO. I serve for you every day. Don't do this to me.
I gotta put it out there. Why she look naked as hell? Not naked, but man, close enough, nigga. That's a bra.
I don't
Listen to
care.
me. I'm an SBO. I serve for you every day. Don't do this to me. Do not do this to me.
Do you understand? Drunk to listen.
Listen to me. No, I'm not.
You are too drunk to listen. Put your car in reverse. Go that way. Hey, can you do me a favor and get them out of here too? Copy. So I need someone to block off the parking lot to the McDonald's after it's cleared out. Hey, can you turn him that way? The vehicle is immobile right now and is crashing to the side of the building. Units responding. Turn your lights and sirens off, please. Lights and sirens off. You guys, come around to the pay here section of McDonald's past the drive-thru. At the very start of the drive-thru, I need one vehicle to come, block the front of this vehicle. I need another one to come up, block the back of the vehicle. Here section of McDonald's.
Yo, you gotta go. You gotta go.
At the very start of the drive-thru.
Go that way. No, go that way. Go.
Block the front of this vehicle. I need another one to come up, block the back of the vehicle. Hey, bring your car. Bring your cruiser. I need one parked here up front. I need one behind. Get your car. Get your car. Get your car. Block here. I need a car here. I need a car in the back. Hey, you're good for now. Homie hasn't moved at all. Hold on. Stand by. Where's the front cruiser? Sorry, I couldn't hear this moving car. It's okay. Everyone's excited. Hey, if you're here, I'm coming up front. Hey, like 2 inches away.
Away. This look like this should have been over with. Go get you some tough female officers. Just get you 2 tough female officers. Go ahead and lock the girl up. On.
Watch out. Watch. It looks like the doors are unlocked, but I haven't checked yet.
Unlock the door.
Hey, so, okay?
Hold on, man. Let's see what we got. Hold on, let's see what we got.
Thank you. Well, stand by to be guided by an official. Stand by. Hey, turn her around.
Leave. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around.
Once we open the door, use the shield and press down the bus so he can't grab it. Because he can't go anywhere.
I don't even have enough room to move her shield in there. It looks like it is.
Come on, man. Yo, get that dude about the car.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach in and grab him and unlock it.
You act like you can't hear us, do you?
Arm in the lap, the back window's down. I could reach in
and unlock the door, and we can open and go straight to the fire. He's still out. Or you want to back off?
Back off. Back off.
Get somebody with the shield.
We have
I always thought people in McDonald's going.
Yo. So Sarge.
Got movement. Got movement. Keep your hand off the gun.
Sir!
Put your hands up!
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Sir, touch the gun! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
Hey! Drop it! Drop it!
You knew then he messed up. I think I got different angles. We finna go see this from different angles. Officer 1 10 times.
Violence. During a press conference on September 10th regarding the incident, DC Police Chief Pamela Smith spoke on the efficacy of DC's violence interruption programs.
The city has been very instrumental in working with our violence interrupters. I think the programs have been certainly instrumental in helping us mediate issues and I'll say conflict resolution, conflict that occurs within our district. And the violence interrupters have been very instrumental in supporting us, I believe, with the crime reduction that you have seen across the District of Columbia.
Cure the Streets typically partners with formerly incarcerated people to use their influence to intervene in neighborhood disputes. Robinson was one of those formerly incarcerated people. According to the Washington Post, Robinson played an integral role in the 2016 murder of Demetrius Medley. On the day of the funeral for Robinson's older brother, himself a victim of a gun murder, Robinson had a tense exchange with Medley, who was from a rival neighborhood. Robinson then told another man from his neighborhood, Kevin Grover, to smoke him if he came back. Minutes later, Grover shot Medley twice in the chest. Robinson pled guilty in 2018 to assault with intent to kill and served 5 years in federal prison. He was released in 2022, and by April of 2024, he was working with the Cure the Streets program. He became well known in the DC community as a positive role model for kids and frequented outreach events with Cure the Streets.
And I decided to tell the younger people and the community members, period, that it's more to life than just going to go grab a gun. It's your job to come out here and chill with us.
Robinson's death came on the heels of the arrest of DC Council member Trayon White Sr., who was accused of accepting bribes over contracts involving violence interruption. Residents were also on edge awaiting the sentencing of 2 DC police officers, one found guilty of second-degree murder and the other for obstruction of justice. On September 10th, Robinson's family agreed to release the body cam footage to the public, and that night, the demonstrations were largely peaceful, though at one point, police arrested several people for throwing bottles and rocks at officers. On January 15, 2025, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia announced that there was insufficient evidence to pursue charges against the 2 officers who shot Robinson and both returned to full active duty.
On our second video, we have a guy asleep in a McDonald's with a gun in his lap. And this is a very tense situation because there's other people in the drive-thru, which the officer actually got into an argument with another person in the drive-thru. But he was smart enough to say, you know what, I don't have to deal with that. Let me deal with this because this is a much more dangerous situation. And one thing to keep in mind is some of the windows of the vehicle were open, but that may create a more dangerous situation because if the officer's reaching in and grabbing this gun, you don't know what the suspect might do. And if the other officers on location are forced to fire, that puts that officer in a dangerous situation and the other officers surrounding in a dangerous situation. And as the officers are planning and being strategic, they're trying to see if they can get this gun, but the male begins to wake up. So at this point, they have to yell to the male to drop the gun. And remember, when you're waking up, a lot of people are disoriented. So the male didn't know where he was. When he went to sleep, it was nothing around probably. But then when he wakes up, all these police officers around him and he has guns pointed at him. However, he still shouldn't have grabbed that gun because that is what forced the officers to fire. They had no choice, in my opinion.
I'm not rocking.
I'll say y'all seen this story first get covered here before it gets to spread my news. I did not know that happened. And that's what we're here to talk about, things like that just happen and cover. We need to cover things like this. Y'all seen the video. We seen the video. We might have to go over this video again and again because people are like, you didn't cover this video. We covered it. We watched it. We watched the video just as anybody else would. And what we did see was a guy asleep, coming out, and he resonated. Now, now we can say what we seen was them blocking it out. We didn't actually see the whole thing of what happened. They blocked some of that out. I don't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. Father and son police suit in them flames. I think that. Yeah.
No license plate. However, the vehicle accelerated, taking the police on a harrowing chase through the city. As more police officers joined the pursuit, the suspect's options narrowed, and he grew more brazen in his attempts to elude police. And you'll never guess how it all ends.
908 will call on behind her. Westbound Capitol. Jesus Christ.
65. Great light traffic coming up at 20th there shortly.
Wrong lane of traffic. It's going to be going back on Atkinson, I believe. The Regardi's going back north towards Capitol. And westbound Capitol from 20th. Braking for the light at 20th. Still westbound Capitol, no traffic. It's got the green light at Titonia. Speeds are at 62. So at least two occupants in the car. The passengers are each around. Slowing for the light. Coming out to Titonia here, so northbound on Titonia. Is there any MPD squads going northbound on Titonia right now? What it sticks. Just past the Ruby, coming up the light here, slowing for the light, almost comes to a complete stop. Still northbound on Titonia, going to be passing Hampton.
Driving all safe. Father and son pursuit. Man, they driving hella safe. I want to hold the son because y'all driving a little too safe. A little too safe.
Speed at 55. Coming up to a little bit of traffic here. He's slowing for the traffic. He's passing Cameron, still north on Titonia, speed at 60. Traffic is yielding, he's slowing for traffic. Attempted sticks at Billard, unsuccessful. Still northbound Titonia, just past Billard, speeds are at 75. Light traffic. And he's putting on his blinker. Disregard here. He's gonna north on Titonia through Silver Spring. Speeds are at 55. No traffic. Still northbound. He's coming up to some construction here. Speeds are at 75. Traffic's yielding. Traffic yielding.
Come on, Sydney, press the gas.
And he's going into oncoming traffic, but there's no traffic. He's in the, looks like the auto parts store here. Might be disabled.
He's going to us for the parking.
Got a little quick call. We're going back to Southbound parking lot. Going back up to Titonia. Southbound Titonia. We're coming back to Silver Spring here shortly. Just passing floors right now. If you like traffic, speed here at 65. Southbound Titonia. We're coming up to Silver Spring, speed here at 85. No traffic.
You're on runway Silver Spring.
Going back to Silver Spring the wrong way on ramp. Might be correcting himself here.
South on 34th.
What are you still doing here? You still have not downloaded Pi Adblock? You know I'm just going to keep showing up on your screen until you download it, right? Honestly, it's 2025. No one is watching ads anymore, not even me, and I'm literally in the ads. We have downloaded Pi, the free Chrome extension that blocks ads on all your favorite sites. It takes like 2 seconds to install, and then you can just use the internet freely, and you forget about all the ads that used to be there. Unless you still want ads, because with Pi, you can opt in to see a limited number of ads and then earn rewards for the ads that you do see. You can even control what ads you want to keep and which ones you want to block. Like I actually do shop from these kinds of ads, so I just keep Pi disabled. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. Like there are over 1 million users and tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. If you've made it this far in the ad, like what are you doing? Skip it already. And also download Pi.
from 37, speed at 45. No traffic. Still eastbound. Just past 32nd. Southbound. It's gonna be 31st from Hampton. No traffic, no pedestrians. Still tough. We going through Portland. Speeds are at 35 miles an hour. Just southbound. Passing Willowdale. We're going back. Looks like south on Atkinson eastbound. No traffic. Speeds at 55. In the oncoming lane, but there's no traffic.
back himself.
And he's going through the light here at 27. He's going to be going southbound on 7th Street. From Atkinson, speeder at 60. Minimal traffic. Traffic if there is a yielding. Southbound 27 from Wolf. Speeder at 68. Coming up to a green light here. You need to be back in oncoming traffic as well as past 27. Traffic into the oncoming lane. Still southbound speeder at 55.
He's smoking.
Vehicles not smoking. Let's take some looking higher. Southbound 27th Street from Nash. Speeder at 60. And he's stopping to the light here at Hopkins. There's a light 27 at Hopkins. Both southbound vehicles got heavy forward. Still southbound here, just passing out on 27th Street. Slowing for the red. They go through the red and their left. 365 to pass Chambers southbound. Through the red and Lucas. Back in oncoming traffic. He's corrected himself. 360.
Keeps smoking. It's probably brakes from his rear.
And for still southbound, coming up with the traffic yielding. And he's going to be going back. He's following the Alcatraz Street in a second for 27.
Find your leg.
He's coming up quite a bit of construction here. Find the leg in Cypress. Still southbound. Southeast. Heavy traffic. Just past speeder at 60. He's in the oncoming traffic with 0 traffic.
There's more traffic coming up.
Coming up to the freeway here, he's in the wrong lane.
He corrected himself.
Coming up to 43 and going left.
Advisors.
Going through the right, going under 43.
He's gonna stick in traffic over here.
Going back into the wrong lane of traffic. Unless he turns here 20 now, we're going to terminate if he's getting down front.
Down for.
Just pass up. Nope. We're going through, just past water. Still eastbound. We've run snap now, still eastbound. Water Street.
Northbound and Jefferson.
So northbound on Jefferson coming up the water, just past Lion. Speeder 40.
Westbound and Pleasant.
Westbound Pleasant, speeder at 55. Northbound, I'm okay. Pleasant.
With Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, you can pick up the tab even when you forget your wallet. I got this.
Fargo, send Kaz $145 to sell.
Smooth. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
What if your smile could go from looking like this to this?
Nuvia's 24-hour process is really unique.
It's a game.
Going northbound, I'm okay. Dispatch you. Passing 7th, he's slowing down. Northbound on 7th. 7th from Keith, gonna be about 60 miles an hour, no traffic, and he's coming off the Capitol. Again, light color, it looks like gray. Sebring got a green light at 7. It's still northbound. So come into it. Gonna have to go up to Port Washington. And keep hitting a wall.
Get on the ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Don't move! Step away from the car! Step away!
Yo.
Keep rolling! Keep rolling! Keep rolling! Get over here! Get over here now! Rolling. Get the fuck over here now! Over here! Keep rolling! Keep rolling! Keep rolling! Keep rolling away!
I got a broke arm.
My God.
My camera went out. It don't want to work. I'm going berserk. It's getting on my nerves. So I'm going to have to end on the show like this because I can't be like this, y'all. We out. Until next time. Peace.